All right, boys and girls, so in order to use the warm colors to blend in the fall foliage of your leaves and trees, we're going to be using oil pastels for the leaves, the trees, and the bushes. And here's another example right here. So what we're going to be doing is you're going to be taking your drawing, and the warm colors that we're going to be using for the leaves are the red, orange, yellow, and we also have brown, and if we want to use a little bit of peach and white for some blending, but we'll get into that later on. All right, so the first thing you want to do when you're using your oil pastels, you have to hold it close to the edge. And I'm going to color all my leaves yellow, because yellow is going to be the basis of all my leaves, and then I can blend right on top of it. And you want to make sure when you're holding your oil pastel that you hold it very close to the edge so it doesn't break. And if it does break, you're still going to use it, because you can still use the whole oil pastel. And just so, as you can see, I'm rotating my paper. And you don't have to actually color the whole thing because you're going to blend some of it. You want to rotate your paper so that you can get to the areas easily. And I'm just going to take my finger. Well, first, actually, by the way, you notice I'm using my hand to hold it still. I'm just going to like click off the extra pieces. Then I'm going to use whatever finger I'm going to deem the yellow finger, and I'm just going to blend them in so it's a nice velvety feel to it. And you want to get kind of those pieces out, and it also makes the colors nice and saturated. And also you want to make sure you just use one finger, like kind of like a Mr. Dirty finger, and then you're using your hand. I'm actually going to rotate this. You can see there's white spots here. Once you use your finger to do the blending, and you will get a wipe to clean your hands, so don't worry about that. So it already looks like we painted. So now what we want to do is, depending on how you want to do the blending, you could do a little bit of orange in the middle if you want. You can maybe do a little orange around the edges. All leaves look a little bit different. You don't even have to add any orange if you want. But this one, for this one, I'm going to put some orange just around the edges there. And you can still use the finger that you blended with the yellow for the orange. And it just, once you get your finger on it, you see it's a nice kind of like smooth transfer of yellow to kind of like a yellow orange. And you don't have to do the whole leaf. You just want to do part of the leaf. Now, fortunately, your fingers are a lot smaller than mine. So if you made smaller leaves, it'll be a little bit easier to blend. So I'm going to kind of blend here down the middle of this leaf. And on the outside, just remember to hold the paper still. And if you have that yellow base of your leaf, then everything else will be really nice and easy to do the blending afterwards. So now I'm going to add a little bit of red in some of them. And you basically want to have at least red and orange in some of your leaves here. I'm going to add a little bit of red on the sides and maybe like a little bit of red over here. And I'm going to use a different finger to blend the red. And depending on how much red you want popping out, look at how nicely that looks, like a nice red orange. So it's really good to, again, I'm holding my paper still. Try to use one finger for each color, but because these are all warm colors, it works out really nice that they blend so well. So and once you get the red in there, you could even blend it a little bit more into the yellow here and make like a reddish orange there and have that highlight. So you're basically going to be doing, you're basically going to be doing the same thing with your leaves and your trees. So for the bushes, again, I'm going to color everything yellow. And again, you're going to want, you don't need to color the whole thing using these oil pastels. You can just leave some white spots, and then you can take a break for each bush there and blend it in, because you don't want to save your blending for the very end, because your finger might get a little bit tired. So it's good to color and blend, color and then blend. And again, I'm rotating the paper so I can get to it easily, and I'm using my hand, because you're going to want these pieces, by the way. They're little pieces that come off the oil pastels. Those are actually going to help you color in the area. And again, hold the paper still. If you're going to color back and forth, make sure you use your fingers to hold everything still. So I'm going to color that bush. And what you're going to find out is that you'll have a wipe to clean off your hand. These little pieces here are actually very useful when you're blending, because it'll make it nice and saturated, and you can actually use it to blend in your bushes there. You don't want to have any white spots really on this. Okay, so now we have our yellow, really bright bushes. And however you want to do your blending, like you could do some around the edges. It doesn't have to be. You could actually kind of like randomly color in along the same pattern. You can actually kind of make it like there's some leaves around here. And now what you're going to do is just take your finger and blend it into the bush area in a circular motion. And you can see there's not that much red there, but we'll add more red later. So the red and the yellow make orange, okay? So for the more color you add, the more saturated the color is going to be. So I'm going to just add some more red later on. And I'm going to blend in the same motion. Now I'm going to add some orange to it. And again, you really can't mess up this project. It always comes out so good.